naming your company and what to do, what not to do. And then obviously there is a mistake that cost us about $6,358.67. So we bought the domain and I'll be sharing with you guys. So let me see. You guys are already posting the questions, but please hold on to your questions. Hey, Titan says hello. Jess says, hey guys. Love you guys all. Really quickly, let's go into the slides that I created for you, and then we will have the Q&A session, right? And then whatever the questions you have, I just pull the Tanisha here. I'll just like pull like this. So whenever the questions you have, I'll just pull it, and then I'll just read your question, and I'll be answering your questions. Guys, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Cool. So let's jump in and let's get started with the slides that I have. Guys, welcome back to this is what we call, we actually named this. We have the coaching program, which is up-level dispatching, and this is up-level dispatching live training for the general public. So for my subscribers and audience that we have. So today's topic is naming your company, do's and don'ts. And again, guys, this is, real quick. I want you to like this video. If you obviously like this video, maybe the content that I'm providing, if you guys like it, please like the video. Please make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Cool. So, and again, for the live Q&A, this is the instruction. Got a question? Ask your question in the chat as I showed you, and I'll post your question on the screen, and then I'll do my best to help you with those questions. So here is the plan for today. Okay, so we'll watch a quick video that I prepared for you guys. My screen, shared my screen. I'm going over the mistake, and I'm showing you step by step what to do, what not to do. So this is basically the mistake that I made that cost me $6,358.67. Okay, and then we'll go into talking about the naming your company. This is very important, by the way, and then we'll have the Q&A time. Okay, sounds cool? Great. So let's go ahead and really quickly watch this video. It's about 3 minutes, and we'll come back. Guys, this is very important, and I want to share with you one of the steps when it comes to naming your company, forming your company, choosing the name, picking the right keywords. It's crucial for your business. When I thought about naming my company, this is my company name, Prime Express. And what happened? First thing first, we need to pick a domain name. We need to search for the domain name, see if it's available or not. So one thing you can realize that this company name is Prime Express, and then what I did, I went to GoDaddy, I went to Namecheap. There's some domain registrar companies that you can do search. I think most popular 3 companies that I go and do research. One is GoDaddy.com, second is HostGator.com, and Namecheap.com, right? So I went to Namecheap, and then this is what I realized, right? And I see that this domain name, right, is $6,350. This is the premium domain. Then what happened? I registered my company, but I didn't do the research first. But then I realized that, man, I did register, but then I can't register domain name because it's expensive. It's a premium domain name, right? So then what happens? The next logical thing, and obviously adding things, and see that what I did, and I added PrimeExpressLLC.com. It should have been like, PrimeExpress.com, because the company name is PrimeExpress.com. I think this is really crucial when it comes to like branding, brand awareness. And overall, it's a good thing to have a premium domain name, or at least your domain name matches your company name. What happened? Right? So the company name, let's say people now know that there's a Prime Express out of Alpharetta, Georgia. There's a trucking company, right? Moving cars, for example. But then what happens? People will be typing PrimeExpress.com, and then boom, like PrimeExpress.com doesn't exist. Nobody purchased it yet. Nobody registered yet, right? So luckily we did purchase, but what we did purchase, today, it's been long, it's been very long. This is what I'm trying to say, right? So we bought this domain name today, December the 15th, 2021. It's about like a couple hours ago, right? So, and we paid 6,358 and 67 cents. So this is the receipt, and we bought from the GoDaddy. Guys, I don't want you to do the same mistake, right? And then why we bought today? Maybe someone was asking like why you did, purchase today, but your company, for example, you registered years ago, because this domain name wasn't available, right? It was taken. Somebody, purchased it, but maybe for cheap. Then they hold it. Now it was on the auction, and I realized that, it was posted on auction. I just instantly bought it. So I don't want you to make this mistake. When it comes to naming your company, this is very, very important. Please take it seriously. And I hope this, video helps, and it will help you avoid some of the mistakes that I did. Do you see that? So that one thing, just let me pull this real quick so that you guys can see me. See that? Just like one simple thing that I just like, when like we get this, and again, the book that I recommended you guys to read is E-Myth Revision by Michael Gerber. And there is a title for entrepreneurs. I think he uses like, entrepreneurial Caesar. This is what happened when we get so excited about the new venture, new company. It's like this is my baby, this is like my first step. And what happens, and you just like get excited, and like everything else is kind of blurred out, and then you don't see those important things, and it's easy to miss this. So, and again, just to summarize this video, it's like I registered company name first, but I should have done differently. I should have like use the domain registrar companies like GoDaddy or the HostGator or the Namecheap.com, something like that. Go there and search for the domain name first. This is what we teach inside the training. Like, hey, I made this mistake. So you need to come up with 3 names and search for the company name first. See if the domain name is available, then register your company. So, guys, I do see there. So there you go. 6K for a domain, that's crazy. But let me at least tell you this. And we also bought the domain name. I think it was like about $26,000. This is like different topic for a different day or for another day. But let me share this. When you say 6K for a domain name, that's crazy. Think about 2 years ago. About 2 years ago. This domain was about 3,000, something like that, right? So it keep increasing, right? So one thing is that, hey, I have a company which is Prime Express. That domain name should belong to me. That's one thing. And another thing, this is an investment, right? So I didn't spend, but this is an investment. So this, I think, the very important topic is that we are running online businesses, especially with this COVID-19 thing. Everybody rushes online and creating online businesses, and the independent freight dispatching is one of the online businesses out there. So when you have an online business, I hope this will change the perspective or the way you look at this. Like, hey, buying this domain name at 6,000, it's crazy, for example. It's an investment. It's no different than like you're buying I don't know, like a watch or an expensive watch or something like that. You're investing in something, right? So this is a digital asset for my business. So basically what happens now, the dispatch trucks owns this domain name, or the Prime Express LLC owns this domain name, right? So hope that makes sense. And some people will obviously look at it like, I don't want to invest that much money, on this, domain name. But then obviously I think differently. This is an investment for the company. Cool. So the main reason why I share this with you guys is that, hey, avoid this mistake, right? Maybe you have a company name in mind. Then you go and see that, well, that domain name may be available for, I don't know, for a couple $100. I would definitely recommend buying it, right? So you don't want to just add S's or some extensions. Like me, for example, I added LLC, right? You don't want that. So if you have dispatch truck as a company name, have the domain name available, like dispatch truck, for example. Cool. So hope that makes sense. Obviously, yes, now you agree with me, but it's obvious. I respect your opinion. It's your opinion, obviously, but you need to look at it as like this is an investment for your company, and maybe we can resell it. I don't know, wouldn't like maybe in the future, 5 years from now, maybe 10 years from now. And think about, like, there's like enormous amount of people rushing into this like online space, creating what is it, companies in like right now. Domain names are really, really hot topic right now, right? So I'm not saying that, hey, go ahead and buy domains and resell it. No, what I'm saying is that first, before you register your company, go and see if the domain name is available. I didn't do that, and this is why it cost me 6,358 and 67 cents for this mistake. But and again, this is an investment. Okay, so I'll come back to the questions. Okay, let's continue with the slides, and then we'll come back to questions later. So let's continue naming your company. And guys, be honest with you, I do have and I shared this already. I have a couple of online businesses and traditional businesses, and I really have the process or the framework how to name the companies. And these are the some of the important, I would say, bullet points. And then you need to kind of take this seriously. I hope you're taking notes. So first, we'll talk about do's, what you need to do when maybe you have the company right now, but then for those of you, it will help you if you are new and then you may be starting a new company. Use domain suggestion tools. And again, when I say suggestion tools, there are a lot of suggestion tools online. You can use it, but I would definitely recommend using domain registrars. For example, companies like GoDaddy.com, HostGator.com, or Namecheap.com. Right? So there are many, but use the domain suggestion tools to see if that domain name is available. So then, obviously, be descriptive. I do see I have a lot of students, and most of my students, they create really beautiful names for their companies, but then I have company names that like doesn't make any sense to me. Like doesn't make any sense. Like for them it makes sense. For example, it's like maybe there's like a family thing. For example, they remember something. Maybe it's something like um in their childhood, if something happened, something amazing, or I don't know, it's like it affected their lives, and then now they want to remember for, I don't know, for generations. But to other people, for example, your future customers, it doesn't make any sense. Maybe you value the this domain, I mean the company name, but to other people it doesn't make any sense, right? There's no sense, there's no meaning um, for your potential customers. I'll give you an example. For example, there will be a company. Think about this independent freight dispatching company. So, and have my company as an example, which is Dispatch Trucks, and then have, let's say, let's create um Alchemy, I don't know, alchemyservices.com, for example. But this company is an independent freight dispatching company. But right next to it, there's a Dispatch Trucks, for example, as a company. When you just hear the company names, think about which one is more descriptive, right? So when I say Alchemy Services, what I mean by saying this, right? That is a company name, but then doesn't make any sense to you, right? So alchemy, what does alchemy means anyway? And then I got the services, but then what type of services? Like you have no idea. Is it a trucking? Is it like different services? Is it like there's no way to know that this is independent freight dispatching company or the dispatching company. But on the other hand, think about like Dispatch Trucks. That's straightforward, right? It's like descriptive, it's short, but now you have the idea. Okay, this is what it is. This is a dispatching company, right? So the second point is this: be descriptive. So you want it to be descriptive as much as possible. Okay. Say the name out loud. I remember I was attending a a seminar in Orlando, Florida, and then presenter said this. It was like it was amazing. By that time, I was I think about 3 business names, and then like he said it. The moment he said that, hey, if you guys have a business names, you need to say the name out loud. And I was like, what that doesn't make any sense. Like this is the company name that I think. But in your mind, when you say the name, like since our minds like much faster than the way we speak, it's like you can say it in your mind easily, but when you say it out loud, it's like, oh wow, it's for first thing, it's hard to pronunciate this the company name that I created or thinking to create or thinking to register, right? It's like now you're like, oh my god. So I need to kind of rephrase it or add a couple of things or remove a couple of things out of this, business name. Say the name out loud. But I think when it comes to dues, this is very important. Guys, you heard this, less is more, right? Keep it short and simple. Think about dispatch trucks. Very simple. Prime Express, for example. Very simple and it's like straightforward, is also descriptive, right? So let's move on to don'ts. This is where you guys need to take notes, right? So don't include your name. I see a lot of students including their, obviously I respect the way what they are thinking, what they value. I respect that. For example, one of my students, she lost her mother and then named her company name after her mother's name. I respect that. But then think about what will happen in 5 years, what will happen in 10 years. I don't think you will be doing for years, right? Even though maybe you like this business, maybe you love this business. Trust me, in some point you'll be thinking to sell this business or selling this business, the business you have or the business you're creating. But I think you need to think this way, right? This end in mind that I'll be selling this business in within, I don't know, 5 years or 10 years. So now the potential buyer for your business that interested in buying it, but now this name, now you're selling this name to another person that you value, that you're so connected to this name. So don't include again your name, your I don't know, maybe your kid's name, maybe the name that really you value. For example, it could be family names, it could be other names, but don't include the name in the company. Okay, company name. So second, don't include location. For example, city, state, or country. For example, maybe we think about, I'll give you an example like Dispatch Trucks Atlanta, for example. We are based in Atlanta, Georgia, for example. Or maybe Dispatch Trucks Georgia, right? And Dispatch Trucks USA, something like that. Think big when it comes to, creating your company or registering your company, or generating ideas when it comes to your company name. What if you move to another country? What if you move to another state, maybe another city or something like that, right? And again, think what will happen when you're selling, for example, in 5 years, in 10 years, right? You don't need to do that. What if this potential buyer is outside the US, right? And he interested in buying this business, since this is an online business, for example, but you named it as, I don't know, Dispatch Trucks Atlanta or Dispatch Trucks Georgia, for example. Don't do that, right? So don't pick a name that gives the wrong first impression. Guys, this is very important. I do see a lot. For example, I will see that this is most common. Like, people will have names, you know, then the company name, obviously, include their names in the company name, and then they will put logistics. For example, Alex Logistics Services or Alex Logistics. But okay, I got the Alex, it's a name, but then logistics, it's like very broad term. Logistic can be anything in the transportation industry, for example, right? So at least talking about, transportation industry. But what logistics, when I say this Alex or Kamal's logistics services or just logistics, company, does it say anything about dispatching company? No, right? So the first impression is like, I don't know, are you a broker? Are you a, I don't know, software company? Maybe you are a trucking company. I have no idea when you say logistics, right? So don't pick a name that gives the wrong first impression. The last one I will, there are obviously many, but these are the most important ones, and this is why I'm sharing with you guys. Don't choose a name you don't like. I have a couple of students, and this is one of my experiences. So students will pick a name, and then within a couple of weeks or months, and they will like, Kamal, I want to change the name. Why? Like, I don't like this name. But like, why you registered then if you didn't like this, for example, or don't like this, company name, right? So it gotta be something that you love, for example. So if you don't like, you run out of ideas, obviously, and you don't know what to do, and then you pick a name, but you gotta love this, the company name, right? Think about like change the perspective for a moment, for a moment. This company it's like it's your baby, it's everything for you, right? You are building this company from scratch, but out of thin air. One of my students, I remember, maybe he's watching right now, and I told him like, hey, you came to this program a couple months ago, and then like you owned nothing, for example, you didn't have any businesses. He said no, like you didn't have any company. No, now you create this company, now you're generating revenue, right? And like what happened? Do you see that? Like what happened? Like you created something out of a thin air. Like it wasn't in existence. Now you have this company that provides value to other companies. He's like, "Oh wow, I never looked at from this perspective." And I said, "Well, think about, right? So it's everything. So you gotta love the name um, for your company." So guys, and I have free resources, down below. You can find those in the description box below this video. There's a free startup guide, how to become a truck dispatcher, and obviously there will be a link. Then get your free first month free for Truckers Edge, and then obviously there will be a get your first month free on a DAT Power. The links are below, and then the reason why I put it here because people asking like, Kamal, where are those links? Where I can find those links? It's below this video, guys. Today, so now we'll go to Q&A session. I'll start taking questions if you have. Let's see. We are good on time. Let me see if we have questions. Do you guys like it? What do you think? Just comment. Let me know. So if you have like top topics to cover, let's talk about this. If maybe you have a company, share the name for your company. Okay. So let me see. Um, I made the same mistake with my company as an owner operator. I can't afford the premium website. Yeah, not the premium website though. It's a premium domain name. Yes, absolutely. But sometimes yes, we can't afford the premium domains. It's okay, but when you start generating revenue, you can always invest in domain names. But the idea here is though, before registering your domain name, when you have the domain name, you need to, I mean, the company name, you look for the domain name, see if that domain name is available, right? So if that is a premium domain name, well, there's a good sign that, hey, wow, there are a lot of people searching for this keyword. It's again, domain name should be like SEO friendly. SEO meaning search engine optimization, right? So let's see. Um, that's good brand recognition. Cool. When we start these dispatch companies, the branding is an afterthought when it's the foundation and first impression you will make with potential customer. Perfect. Perfect. I had this. So glad we started talking about this, the branding. One of the thing that I think people make mistakes, and again, in general, making mistakes is okay, right? I think we should make mistakes so that we can succeed in some point. One thing is that some people, for some reason, they will be thinking really hard on branding, like I want to name this, like, and then I won't change, never change this name. I want to create best website out there, I want to create the best name out there. Guys, it's like branding. I think it's like it's like it's not You can't create a brand in one day, right? So it's a process. It takes some time. So you will get there, right? Think about like the Pepsi. They changed their logos, I think, a couple of times. And yes, they spend billions of dollars. Well, it's a huge company, but think about there are many companies out there, well-known companies. They change their names multiple times, right? And their logos as well. They made some changes. You can adjust, you can change, but here is Rich says, I don't know if this is your name. It says like, yes, brand recognition is cool, it's awesome, but then it's like the first impression, like you need to kind of in the market say that, hey, I'm here, this is what I do. Now people will know you, right? And then they'll start resonate with, I don't know, with X, Y, and Z. Then obviously we'll stick to the logo, maybe the color, scheme you have. I don't know, like branding in general. For example, the name, you can change the name. You can, I don't know, create like just one word that says about you, for example. Right. So that's a really, really good point. That's a good brand recognition. When you start these dispatch truck companies, the branding is afterthought. That is a keyword, right? When it's a foundation and first impression you will make with the potential customer. And I think it can go both ways. You can start the branding, from day one. But the point is here, like, don't think hard on this one. For example, patenting or copywriting, registering your, name, like paying thousands of dollars, and then obviously within a couple of months you see that you can't do this, and then now you spend a lot of, money, the heart of the money. You don't want that, right? So you start like simple, right? Keep it short and simple, or sweet and simple, and then you can build your brand later. So good ideas, cool. What is it? Bernard says, I think he's one of our students. I'm going to change my name to cool, awesome. I was going to name my company More in Matthew Logistics. There you go. It's very common, right? So, in the reason why is it, Tanisha, is that we love ourselves. I think this is, and again, it's in psychology, but we love our families, and obviously, we want to like have this name out there, right? And again, I think this will be um, an amazing book to read. It's like E Myth by Michael Gerber. It's awesome book, right? So you guys have this, and again, this is what I would recommend. But again, guys, it's your company. Um, it's everything on you. You make the decisions, but it's just I'm sharing my personal, story and experience with you so that you guys can learn. Um, let's see. Hey, Kamal. Hi. Can you talk about how to figure out your numbers of a truck business, please? Or can you give to us some formula that we can use it, please? Sure. But when you say figure out your numbers for truck business, what do you exactly mean? Do you mean like cost per mile? Like I don't get it. So if you say, Kamal, we don't know our cost per mile, then obviously I did a video yesterday you can watch, meaning like you need to list all the fixed cost and the variable cost, and you go from. So this is what we do. Like we go like whatever the fixed cost we have per month, we just like take that all the numbers we have for the fixed cost, we'll just put it on paper, for example, and then we write those numbers. And then obviously, what about our variable cost? We'll pull that data, and then we'll come up with the cost per mile. This is very, very important. But if you have more than one truck, right? So if you have two, three, four trucks or something like that, but then you also need to calculate your average cost per mile. Meaning, for example, we have four trucks, then truck number, for example, 110, I mean 001, and then truck number 002, and so on. I will just put like for truck number 001, what's the cost per mile, right? So because for that particular truck, the cost per mile will be different. Why? Remember yesterday, if you watched that video, I said, first truck that we bought, it was used. The second truck we bought, it was brand new. So then obviously cost per mile for this truck is cheaper than cost per mile for this truck, which is brand new. Think about $95,000 truck, and then obviously here is the $137,000 truck, right? And obviously, like maybe third truck you have, I don't know, maybe it's paid off. The cost per mile is different. Now you like calculating across the board, and you're taking those like 4 cost per miles, dividing by 4. Now you have this average cost per mile. This is very, very, very important. Okay. So, and I do see a lot of people, and we started doing this as well. But then again, guys, we're closing this, tracking company. We are in the process. But think about, you need to do this as well if you are if you are a carrier. If you have a truck, you have the cost per mile. Maybe it's a per month, based on per month numbers. Then you need to come up with the cost per mile per week, for example. What is costing you to run this truck per week? This is very important, right? And then what about like per day? And maybe you're asking like, why do I need this? Like, why per day, for example? Think about if your truck's, for example, detained, right? So let's say in Houston, Texas. Now broker says, or shipper says, or the receiver says, I don't know, we need to detain your truck for I don't know, for 5, for 6, for 7 hours, something like that. And you need to come up with the numbers. And how you're going to come up with those numbers? Because of the cost per mile, right? The cost per mile. And then obviously based on that, this is what we do, and then this is what we see. But again, if that doesn't make any sense, you can't do that. But it's highly, highly, recommended that you need to come up these cost per miles, even per day. It's very important. So if you could even go down the hours, what it's costing me running this trucking, this truck per hour, right? This is very important. So if you know numbers, ins and outs of your trucking business, you will succeed, right? I failed it. I failed my trucking company. Why? Because I didn't pay attention to these numbers. Like, it was just like general. How much money I get, like, hits my bank account, and how much money flows out of my bank account. That's it. I just log in, I see. Most of the time I get very disappointed because they're close to zero when it comes to trucking company, right? This is true, right? 100% honesty, total transparency here. Cool. Okay, let's see. Bernard says Republic Truck Dispatch Services. Yes. Remember, we need to keep it short, right? We need to keep it short. Like, truck dispatch is a keyword, which is really cool. But then you can, obviously remove the Republic and add something to truck dispatch. If the truck dispatch services are the keywords, these 3 different keywords, but dispatch is the keyword you need, right? Cool. So, what if the business name is long? Can we shorten? I just said it, right? So if you're watching this, I just said it. So let's see. Which of your programs do you recommend of an owner operator who wants to get into dispatching or dispatch, company? I know how to dispatch already. Need guidance. Like, think about when obviously, like any program that we have, and basically we do have 3 different tiers. First is entry level. Obviously, this is where you become an independent freight dispatcher owning a management company. This is the first step. But then second step is the coaching program. It's another level. Then we have mastermind. I'm not even talking about this because the requirement is 20,000, meaning 20,000. You need to be making 20,000 per month to be in that, in that program. So when you say I already dispatch, I know how to dispatch, this is basically what you mean. You know how to find loads, right? Maybe how to, negotiate with brokers, meaning the booking process, and maybe how to dispatch. That's not enough. That's the basic thing, all the dispatchers out there, they know, right? It's not about this. The business aspect of it, this is very, very important, right? And this is why we kind of differentiate ourselves in the marketplace, that we don't just teach how to dispatch. It's not just how to dispatch. It's easy, right? It's like the business aspect of it. This is where we combined, and this is how we created our programs, because it's not enough just like finding loads, booking loads, dispatching loads. No, right? There's obviously a specific way of starting the companies, right? If you say, Kamal, what are the specific you're talking about? Well, good luck and do your own thing, obviously. But there is, for everything, there's a framework, there is a process, and obviously there's a right way of doing it. For example, naming the company. Kamal, why are you creating these videos? Naming this company is easy. X, Y, and Z, something like that. But now we're watching this. Now we realize that, oh, wow, we're missing a lot of things. We need to know this. We need to implement this. And because of this, you can be dispatching. I have students, dispatching for 15 years. I have a students with 25 years of experience. Remember, 25 years ago, dispatching is very different than now. But what stays the same across the board? Finding a load, booking a load, dispatching a load, maybe load boards a little bit, right? But what about the scripts that you're talking to brokers? How many times you're talking to brokers and you're winning that, whatever you want? For example, if this load posted for 3,000 from Atlanta to Houston, how are you negotiating? Do you just say, hey, I want this, can you give me more or something like that? Well, obviously you can say that, but it's not the way we teach. It's there is obviously a better way of doing this and winning, right? Those conversations with brokers, for example. It's all about psychology. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And I would say when you say you have that experience, we have a lot of people with an experience, and then we have a lot of people like zero knowledge in tracking, and they're successful, right? And obviously we have like many years in experience, and then we'll say, oh wow, like I made a lot of mistakes. So the thing is that we're not just talking about just dispatching. What we're talking about, like in whole, it's like we're talking about business. That's what it is, right? Cool. Let me see. The domain name is available. Cool. But then what's the company name, right? Okay, let's move on to this. If you plan on moving from dispatching to becoming a carrier, should you choose two different names, companies, or one name that encompasses both? Awesome question. Awesome. So here's what I would recommend. This is like, and again, see, this is my personal experience, and this is what I have, and learn from me. I have Prime Express as a carrier, right? And again, I made a video. I think it was like yesterday. I covered this in details, how I made mistakes and why I went into like creating my tracking company, not the dispatching company. So you have like in detail. So you can watch that video. But what I did is like I separated these two companies, right? So this company, which is Dispatch Trucks, offered two things. One, dispatching services to other carriers and owner operators. Second thing is teaches other people how to do this business that we do, for example, right? So, and then I have this Prime Express, which is carrier side of my business. This company owns 4 trucks, and then it's a different business model. This Dispatch Trucks and Prime Express, they're two different, business models. And this is why I separated two different LLCs. Okay. So I would do it this way, right? If I were you, I would do it this way. I'll just separate two companies. Okay. And I'll tell you more if you start dispatching and start, generating revenue for your business, you won't be interested in becoming a carrier. And specifically for this, you can watch yesterday's live training that I already posted. This will help you a lot. So let's see. Let me see as far as time goes. Okay, so we have about 10 more minutes. Let's see. Okay, so they're not. So you are the student. So there is the module inside, and then you have live coaching sessions, right? Ask this. I do see you're, asking questions here. Obviously, it helps you. But then what I'm trying to say is that we have these live coaching sessions. Ask these questions, and you'll get, in details. It's basically software, and it's like a general term, but some people get confused. I need this TMS. It can be like truck management software, and some people will say transportation management software. They're different versions, but I don't want to confuse. But think about like there's a software, right? It actually helps you run particular department of your company. There's like softwares can do everything. It's like all in one software, but I don't recommend that. But for example, we have what is it? The software for just email marketing. We have software just for financial side of our business. We have a software just for marketing. What is it? A department, for example. This is all about marketing. We use within that marketing department, we use a couple of different marketing software, for example. Right? Think about when it comes to TMS. Think about like it's a software to manage your trucking company. Think about that way. But then you're not limited. There are some software out there that helps you run your business. you know Trucking business is very specific, right? Very specific, because you need, I don't know, maybe track your numbers, your trucks. Then there should be like dispatching side of it, and it's very unique. For example, that's basically what it means. And the first thing comes up to mind is ITS dispatch by truckstop.com, I think, one of them. So we have our own. We create our own TMS. It's not available in the market. We don't sell it. We use it ourselves. But basically, this is what it is. I hope that helps. Okay, so should we add logistics or dispatch in the name? I wouldn't include logistics. I just maybe you missed it, maybe you just joined, but logistics is very broad, term, for example. But dispatch is very specific. So if you're going into the, like managing other people's, trucks, and obviously trucking company, then obviously dispatch is the keyword, or dispatching, for example, is the keyword, or dispatcher, for example. So let's see. How much is the consultation? So I don't do one-on-one consultation, but we do inside the training. We have this weekly Q&A sessions like these, but it's in a group setting, obviously. So Tanisha said, how can I get into your class? There is a link below this video. It's a startup guide. You can download startup guide for free. You can learn, and if you decide to sign up for the program, there will be a link for you available so that you can sign up for the course. Okay, so what is the difference about premium domains and regular domain names? Think about this. The regular domain name, whatever the domain name is, there's not, how to say this. For example, the domain name that I bought and domain name that I have, dispatchtrucks.com, and the domain name that I bought, which is premium, which is Prime Express. There are a lot of searches out there. That's one of the I think criteria is how they pricing these premium domain names, is that there are a lot of searches out there happening online. There are a lot of people typing, for example, Prime, millions of times, and then there are a lot of people typing maybe Express a lot of times, and then that gives them the value to validate this domain name. And the second is like, how is it like 2 words and it's common words, for example? Yes. And is it short? Yes. This is how they classify as premium domain names. Obviously, in this, the domain names, like it's like keep increasing, like the meaning value. It's like it's like a property. For example, if you buy a house and then it just keep increasing or appreciating, it's not depreciating. That's what it is. So I own more than 300 domain names. Yes, I'm kind of obsessed with this, but it's like I think of an investment when I buy domain names. For example, I registered a couple years ago the domain name, which is pin tracking. Pin tracking is like, I heard there's a company creating a software for tracking company. It's a huge deal, and then we just registered that domain name. Now they're reaching out to us to buy that domain name, but we bought it for, I think, for $12. Now it's like worth thousands of dollars. That's the way you need to think about this. It's like, it's huge. And there are already people out there asking for if we can sell the dispatchtrucks.com as a domain name. Why is that? Because we increase this search engine. It's like search engine friendly, so to speak. It's like keyword friendly. There are a lot of people searching for this domain, and now it's the value of the domain name is just skyrocketed, and people obviously wanted to buy those premium domain names. It's an investment, so to speak. Okay, hope that helps. Let me see. Let's see. So when you running multiple businesses, that's not the same thing. You always want to make two different names just in case one of the businesses gets sued, the other won't be a part of it. Perfect. Yes. This is one of the reasons, obviously. It's obviously protecting your business. I think this is the great point. And obviously, this is when you need to look at the management perspective, right? So managing kind of two business models in one business, it's really hard. You need to kind of separate them and think about if you can leverage other people's time, or leverage other people, and then create processes and just delegate this business, or just give to the CEO who can run your business for you, for example. And then you focus on this business. For example, the business, maybe it's the trucking company that you love, and you want to I don't know, become a huge or mega size, or on a medium size, whatever your plan is. But then you can kind of focus on this one. But I don't recommend kind of having all like important things in one basket, right? This is this is very important. And again, obviously, if somebody sues your company, then all the assets you have, it's gone, right? It's now it's under, like, it's a problem. So you need to separate. And again, you need to consult with professionals, right? This is very, very important. um let's see, do you offer ELD as an upsell to your carrier you dispatch for? um y- we don't do this, but we partner with the company that we offer. But it's not an upsell, but basically we recommend using that software, for example. Awesome, thank you. Moha says, thank you very much, Kamal, I really appreciate you. Absolutely. Let me take this real quick. If your domain name is taken, do you recommend hiring a broker to negotiate purchasing it, or is it something one can do on their own? I never used, brokers. For example, we bought thousands of dollars. I never used brokers because it's a simple process. It's like they're very reputable companies out there. But again, I would recommend, like, to do your own research first. But this is like my own experience. But I'm not saying that, hey, just go ahead and buy the domain name without the broker. It's absolutely, it's up to you. This is what I think. This is my personal opinion, and this is what I did. It's my experience. Okay, so if you want to buy domain name, you don't. To me, it's like, in my mind, like, why should I like pay the broker if I can just, it's like simple, seamless process. So I can pay, and then I can transfer domain name over to my registrar. No problem, guys. You've been awesome. Thank you so much. And again, for those of you who are interested in joining the program, there will be links below. Check that resources. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know. We'll be doing these live Q&A sessions whatever we have the important topics to cover with you. We just post in advance saying, hey, there will be a live coaching session. We decided to kind of deliver as much as value as possible to you guys. That, yes, right now is Tuesdays and Fridays, but you guys maybe lately realize that we do sometimes, I don't know, in Mondays, and we just hop on this live calls on Wednesdays. But you guys, take it. It's free for you. It's a free resource. Learn from it. Learn from our mistakes, and then, guys, create profitable businesses and live the life you guys want. That's the whole point, right? And becoming and being a part of the community. This is what excites me. This is why I'm here talking to you guys and providing the value to you guys. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Until then, stay safe. Bye for now.